What's happening, everybody? So, getting ready to melt some pours here. I haven't really tried putting these out too much. This one was a fail, so he's getting redone. If you look, his belly's all messed up. Now, I'm not talking about the flashing around the edges or anything like that. I haven't cleaned them up at all, but if you look real close, it's not supposed to look like that. If we look over here, you see the side of his face is kind of smooth. Same with his butt. But the rest of him is not. So, and he goes. A couple of emojis. I forgot to show these off when I was doing a pour. I think I forgot to show these off. Yeah. The last one was polished up. This one was polished up and toned. It's got some rainbow toning. And this one here, this is my Lady Bar. Personally, I love her. She looks beautiful. But it's 4.5 ounces of silver. I think I've shown it off once or twice, and nobody was interested then. And I need silver for melting, so we're going to melt this down. And it goes. And what I'm working on is somebody out in the community had asked me for one of every color troll that I have, and the one that I just dropped in there was supposed to be the last one. Didn't come out, so we're gonna do one of those. I've done 2 of these so far, and both of them sold right away, so I'm gonna make me another one so I can have it spinning in my carousel. And I got my Eye of Ra pendant here that I'm going to try to get done. So we'll see how that comes out. Alright, we'll be back with you in just a second. Alright, so I got the mold made up for the troll without the mushroom hat. I have the mold made up for the Eye of Ra. Now I just got to make up the mold for the troll with the mushroom hat. Did I say that right? Yeah, I think so. Should be plenty. I'm just going to fill the first half of the flask here first. Get all the sand packed in pretty decently tight. Work into the corners. Working it down around the edges. Make sure everything's packed in everywhere tight. Top it off. I'm going to skim it off flat. Looks like I had some silver dust on my tray. Oh, now it's in the sand. That's okay. Got the parting powder, so one side of the flask don't stick to the next. A little bit of powder on a mushroom. Troll. And hope I don't break his hat off again while I'm sinking him into the sand. Or hope his hat don't break off when I'm breaking him free from the sand. Last time he fell down, hit the tray, and his hat broke off. I used UV resin to attach the mushroom to the top of the troll's head. As I'm pushing the troll further into the sand, it's breaking up the sand. It's pushing the sand out around the edges. So I'm just packing it all back down. Making sure the sand is tucked up underneath his arms so there's no cavities underneath. Packed right up against his ear. The mushroom troll is a little more difficult than the other trolls. Seems that way anyway. I wouldn't be able to show it on camera, but there's just a tiny little gap underneath his ear, and I'm trying to push the sand under it. Because if I don't fill that gap, it's going to cause problems coming out. I think I got it. I think. Ultimately, I'm trying to get rid of as much of the parting powder as I can. Doesn't need a lot at all. I certainly don't want to build up of the powder in any of the spots where the sand meets the mold. Okay. There's beads of silver in the sand, which is why we use the screen. I keep feeling it. There we go. Drop that on the table and get it later. Or I'll sweep it back up, back onto the tray and dump it back into the sand like I've probably already done a couple times. And I'll find it again later. Again, I'm just packing it in around the edges, trying to get everything packed evenly so nothing gets pushed out of the way when I'm really giving it the beans. And packing it a lot tighter with the rolling pin. The reason I don't pack the first side with the rolling pin is because I'd never be able to push the troll into it if I actually packed it that tight. It was a lesson learned. I've tried it before. It don't work. Probably don't really need to pack it as tight as I do, considering it's not like there's a bunch of fine detail in this particular piece. Now, when I'm rolling it down with the rolling pin, I start off with a lot less pressure than I end up with by the time I'm done. Again, so it doesn't just push the sand out and out of the way. It actually packs it in. I'd say that's pretty good. I haven't turned the furnace on yet. I have the tabletop quick melt. That didn't turn out well at all. Look at all the sand packed in around the sides of his head. I'm going to try to fix that. We're going to put this side back on top. Pick it up and tip it over. And I'm going to find my channel locks here, sitting hiding under my gloves. I'm going to give it a few love taps. Let's see if we did anything. We did. It all pretty much set back right down to where it needed to be. Almost all of it. And I got just a little bit behind its one ear. So little tips and tricks for you other pourers out there. Now that little piece that's stuck behind his ear, that's going to be cleaned up later. But it's going to be a lot less cleanup than what it would have been. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. The back side, backside not so perfect. But again, a little bit of cleanup, I'm going to have that looking beautiful. You'll never even notice. Just smoothing it back out a little bit. I think that will really help, as long as I don't completely ruin it, which I've been known to do. Have it looking really good and then destroy it, trying to fix it. But one other thing I've noticed is, for some reason, my prototypes always seem to come out looking better than what I produce later. And me being me, I don't keep my prototypes, I sell them. I make my stuff to sell, not to keep. I mean, some of it, yeah, I keep it. But, yeah, the things I make for myself always come out looking beautiful. I sell them and then try to make another one and they don't come out looking nearly as nice. I can't say that's always the case, but often enough. Now, something else some of you may notice. No vents. No vents. And we're going to see how these come out together. Now, every single person I've ever spoken to about pouring silver vents their pours, except for one. Breach PMC. He recommended stop venting your pores. So I gave it a try, and my stuff started looking better than what it did before. I don't get nearly the pitting that I had, and when I was putting vents in, it always had a tiny minuscule little sinkhole right at the base of that vent where it met the pour. So it was always a blemish. Get rid of the vent, no more sinkhole, no more blemishes there. So I'm going to turn my furnace on. I got all the silver in there. Now the tabletop quick melt works 1,000 times better than the 2 autos and the Vevers, which by the way are the same furnace. I don't care what you say. Tabletop quick melt, awesome machine. However, my luck, I think it was literally one day after my warranty expired, the cooling fan stopped working. So now I just have this fan right back here, yep, that one, and I have another tiny little computer fan inside here that I always turn on while running the furnace. And it actually keeps the unit cooler than the original cooling fan that it came with. So getting the temp up. Okay, turn on my warmer over here because something else I started doing, which nobody has ever recommended, is heating my sand just a little before I pour my silver into it. So I got a toaster oven that I dedicated to this. I put my flasks in and turn it on to warm. And it heats it up to less than 200 degrees. And that also seems to have made quite a difference in how the pores come out. So I'm going to end this here for you. Again, it will only be a second, but we will see what happens next. Here's why the tabletop is one of the top of the line furnaces. Check out that temperature climb. This thing goes from stone cold to I'm ready to pour in about 20 minutes tops. Now, I've only used this for copper once, and I'm not going to use it for copper again, only because copper requires higher temperatures. But still, this thing had copper ready to pour from cold, stone cold, in about 25 minutes. So this thing is awesome. I love this furnace. Look at it go. Yeah, she's up to temperature in just maybe 5 minutes, but it takes an additional, well, alright, maybe 10, but then it takes an additional 10 minutes, roughly, to get the silver up to temperature and melted down and ready to go. But yeah, she's quick. Alright, so it's only been about 25 minutes, and we're ready to go. So I'm going to grab my things out of the warmer here. And the first thing coming out is the troll. That's going to have hair. And the reason that's the first coming out is because that's the first getting poured, because that is a commissioned job that I need to get done. The other ones are just kind of for me or whoever wants them. I have been looking forward to the Eye of Ra pendant here, because I haven't done that one yet. Last one here is troll with the mushroom head. If I've melted enough silver, that is. Hopefully I did. I don't have enough clamps, and I keep forgetting to buy more. So I gotta use these shitty things. I don't like them. These clamps, don't like them at all. I bought 6 of them and immediately threw 4 of them away because they wouldn't clamp as I'm tightening them. I don't tighten it much, but as I was tightening it, they were skipping and pissing me off. So they're gone. Any safety specs here? See? Piece of shit. Just making sure it didn't fuck up the mold at all, the sand casting. Oh, these things suck. Hopefully that stays put. Let's rock. It's hot. I don't think I had enough for the Eye of Ra pendant. Or not the Eye of Ra pendant, the Troll with the mushroom head. Pretty sure we fell short on that one. Ow! Picked up a little BB and it was still very, very hot. Is it still hot? No, I pretty much sucked the heat right out of that one. Alright, let's look at the one that I'm pretty sure failed first. Get rid of these clamps. Now they don't want to let go. I hate these fucking clamps. I made a mess with the silver a little bit. Just tiny, tiny little BBs. I'm gonna get those picked up first. I don't remember seeing it hit the tray to make it splatter like that. Well, didn't have a lot. It's literally like a grain. Oh, all right. Just didn't have enough to fill the sprue. I was cutting it close. I don't want to use those. Now, with the mushroom troll, you remember I had the big chunk of sand get dislodged, and I put it back in its place, and I still had a small chunk of sand dislodged, which was going to be cleanup. And that was right behind its ear, and that is visible now. I'm going to cool this off. While that's cooling, let's look at the next one. Oh man, my finger is stinging. from picking up the BB, I got a little shiny spot. Well, it's not the first time I burnt myself, and hopefully it won't be the last. If I ever stop burning myself, it's because I stopped doing stuff. I'm seeing tiny little pieces of silver here on my tray. Alright, I have raw pended. Let's take a look. Again, just a reminder, no vents. But it is very warm. And the next one of these I got some stuff. Alright, let's try this again. My damn phone ran out of storage while I was sitting here talking to you. So, I don't remember what I was saying. I just spent the last 15 minutes clearing storage from my phone. This came out pretty damn good. Of course, I do need to clean it up a little bit. There's still some sand trapped in there. But that's going to come out looking beautiful. And the last one, let's see how my troll came out. The one that somebody asked me to pour for them. I said, sure, no problem. And I poured it, and it came out looking like crap. So I had to do it again. He's going to need a little cleanup. But much, much, much better than last time. Oh, hell yeah. I'm being gentle with my brush here. I'm only smacking the screw, not the pour. Much better. There we go. You can actually see a little belly button. Much, much better. Alright, this little fella, I believe, is going to have blue hair, which is not uncommon in this world today. Alright, everyone. Much love. Where'd the other ones go? There we go. It's going to look like that as soon as I find the camera. And, oh, there it is. Had it sitting in a cup of water. It came out looking pretty sweet too. And of course he needs to be cleaned up. Oh yeah, there's that chunk of sand that was caught behind the ear. Not a big deal though. Not nearly as bad as what it was going to be if I didn't get all that set back into place. Alright everyone, much love. Happy Independence Day. Happy birthday America. I will talk to you all soon. Well, can't win them all. I was just brushing the last little bit of sand off from underneath the hat here, and then I noticed that. Guess I was a little shy. Oh well. Yeah, and also if I had poured a little faster, those lines wouldn't have been there. came out looking pretty good, but he could be better. So I'll do him once more after I cut the sprues off of here, because ultimately this happened because I didn't have, I like to have a couple ounces, at least an ounce, to chase everything else down. And when you don't have a little bit of weight to chase it down, or enough, that happens. That's a hole. Yep. Oh well. At least I got this one done. He came out looking good. He's going to clean up real nice. And I'm looking forward to see how this looks when I'm done. Yeah, I think I'm going to tone it up. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this one. I even got the loop to come out. Not too shabby. No vents. Breach, you the man. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that little bit of advice. That has helped a lot. Alright, I'm ending it here. Much love, everyone. I'll talk to y'all soon.